Again, I will talk about the Yama and Niyama. What is Yama and Niyama? They are rules and regulations. There are certain rules and regulations for everything. There is a theme. There is a foundation for everything. So this Yama and Niyama is very important, and I'm going to speak about those Yama and Niyama. What is Yama and what is Niyama? I will tell you. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha are Yama. And Niyama are Saucha, Sandosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. So Yama, Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-harming, without harming. How is it possible for you to harm when you are able to know that the living being, the living source which is inside you is there in the other person also? We are doing that. We are doing the cruel things. So first understanding should be there that the same life force in you or the prana in you is also residing in the other person's body. So he is not different from you. This is the first ultimate and basic knowledge which you should understand, you should get when you are a yogi. That doesn't mean that when a robber comes and when he is trying to kill you and take this thing from you, it is not that you should give away your life. I'm not meaning that. You should have a thorough understanding. You should have a thorough knowledge about who you are and about the others who live with you. So ahimsa means non-harming. Then satya means the truth. When you speak truth, what happens? When you speak truth, when you hear the truth, when you are being on the side of truth, what happens is whatever you say or whatever you do, it becomes truth. There was one example. There was one saint who is known as Abhirami Pattar. He was a Tamil saint, and that saint, what happened is like one day it was Amavasya, the darkest night. He was meditating. So suddenly someone, after he came out of the meditation, someone asked whether today is Amavasya or Paurnami. Unknowingly, he just told it is Paurnami. He was not aware what he was saying. That time, suddenly he told it is Paurnami. Suddenly what happened? That Amavasya, the dark night, went into Paurnami. So this is a mystical example. Whether you believe it or not, it is another thing. But what I am telling through this story is like, once you speak truth, once you be very truthful, everything happens around you will be truthful. So next is asteya, non-stealing. Don't steal anything. Don't steal any other things which is not yours. Even if you take something which is thought by others as their own, it's a stealing. So please don't do stealing. Stealing is very, very bad concept, which nowadays people are very interesting. Like even in social medias, people used to steal. So stealing is very bad. Okay, don't do stealing. So next will be brahmacharya. So again, brahmacharya, I have to tell you one thing about brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is not that something which people think to be like celibacy or not marrying. Brahma means the Almighty. Charya means the path. And brahmacharya means the path through which we reach the ultimate. This is brahmacharya. So there is nothing that if you hold to celibacy only, you will be able to attain Almighty state. Even you can reach the Almighty state. You are already in the Almighty state, that is the truth. But only thing is, we have to remove the ignorance from our mind so that we are able to understand who we are and what it is. So next is aparigraha, non-possessiveness. Aparigraha means non-possessiveness. So we will be always having a thought that it is mine. No one should take that. No one should take it from me. I only should use. It is mine. That thought, that possessiveness on all aspects, we should reduce it. It is not easy. It is easy for us not to steal. It is easy for us not to say untruth things. It is easy for us not to harm others. But it is little very tough for us to be non-possessive. So first we will try to control the possessiveness, then slowly we can avoid that possessiveness. So once we clear these things, our mind will be very clear. Next we will go to the niyama, saucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana. Saucha means the cleanliness. If you are not cleanful enough in and out, that is the cleanliness of your mind and the body. If you are not clean in and out, then you are not a yogi. You should be pure like a mirror, like a crystal. See, in a pure crystal, if you place a pure crystal near the table, and if you place a flower of red color, the crystal will project the color of the flower. Its natural color is pure white, but it reflects. So, like that, your mind and body should be clean and pure. Santosha is contentment. Contentment. You should be content inside. You should be happy with what you have. So usually yogis used to say, don't desire. This is Maya. So it is very tough for a normal people like us to understand what yogi says. They say desire is the cause of all the troubles. So without desiring, we have to do our role in this earth also. It is not that you should never desire, you should go inside a room, or you should don't do anything, not like that. You can do anything without desiring. If you desire something, and when you are not getting that, what will happen? Raga, we call desire as raga. Then next it will convert itself into dvesha. That is anger that you didn't get. Then if you get what you are desiring, again that raga will change itself into krodha, that is fear, bhaya. So when you get something, you are fearful that you should be protecting that thing. Then again that raga changes itself into fear, that is bhaya, and the bhaya changes it into krodha when that thing is disturbed by someone else, or something happens to that object which you desire, then it becomes krodha, anger. Once krodha comes, then all the misery comes. Anger is the cause of all miseries in our life. Desire creates fear, then anger, then again if you lose that object or something bad happened to that object when you are in the presence, then your mind will take yourself into a dull state called guiltiness. Raga, dvesha, bhaya, krodha. Raga, dvesha, bhaya, krodha. These are the main things. So you don't have to change the dvesha, bhaya or krodha, because it is all because of the desire which you have kept. So don't keep desire. Do whatever you want without desire. This is what is told by Swami Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavan Krishna, what he told, nishkama karma, without desiring, without thinking of the fruit which is going to, that fruit which we are going to get after our work. So we work very perfectly in the present moment as told by Patanjali Muni, and we don't desire like as told by Krishna. If we try to keep these two things in our mind, we will be successful. Nothing can defeat us so soon. So again I will come to the topic. So santosha is contentment. Whatever we have, we should be contented. We should be happy with what we have. So tapas means austerity. So tapas is usually called as fire. Tapa means agni, fire. So we should have an intense desire towards whatever we want to achieve. We should have an intense desire on our half. When we have intense desire or that intensity, there it creates a fire, and that fire it should be there only for mainly it should be there for a yogi. Vairagya is very important for tapas. We call some people as tapasvi, vairagi. Why? Because they are always, their intensity is towards their goal. So you should have that capacity, that power. You are having that. We should say no to what we don't like. Sometimes we are slaves to the habits. Sometimes we are slaves to the senses. So we should have that power. For getting that power, you should have the vairagya. So one who is having intense fire is a tapasvi. So next again we'll go to swadhyaya. Swa-adhyaya. Swa means us. Adhyaya means lesson. Swa-adhyaya means studying about ourselves. This is very, very important in yoga. So usually these yamas and niyamas, nobody teaches these things. They just skip and they start from asana. It's a big mistake. Why? Because it's like you are preparing something without the essence, the essential things. So it will not come as you have desired, right? So swadhyaya means self-study. Who am I? Why did I came to this earth? Many people are born, many people are dead. What I am doing now? Why I am doing that? What is the source of creation? Who is God? Whether there is God, is there a God or not? These questions should be answered. This cannot be known just by learning books. There should be a teacher to make you understand this thing. So it's very important for people to ask the question by themselves first. When the question gets into an intensity, automatically we will get the answer. So questions and answers are both within us. Within us, but it needs a tapping from a teacher. So next is Ishvara Pranidhana. What is Ishvara Pranidhana? Ishvara Pranidhana is giving ourselves to the Ishvara, the Almighty. Even if you say that there is no God, okay, let it be. But there is an energy. We cannot say that there is no energy. There is an energy like electricity, that which controls the whole universe. That we call it as Ishvara. So that is everywhere. We believe the 5 elements. You cannot say the water is not there, the fire is not there, the air is not there. You cannot say that. So water, air, fire, earth and the space. 5 elements. So all these things are contained inside the space. So that space is ether. That is Almighty, which is everywhere. Akash, what we call, as per yogic terms, Akash and Prana. So that Prana, Ishvara Pranidhana, is surrendering ourselves to the Almighty. How can you surrender? So for that you should know first Swadhyaya. First you should know who you are. Then only the surrendering aspect will come. See, you say that you are doing everything, right? Yes, I accept that. We are doing everything by ourselves. But you should totally understand. When you take a food, what happens? You are only aware about the throat, till the throat, the tongue and the throat. What is happening below this area, to the abdomen, to the, it goes to the stomach, then it is diverted into energy, glucose, energy, everything is happening in our body. But we are unaware of these things which are happening around, inside our body. So that is the reason why we are not totally aware. Even eating, we are not doing it. We are looking somewhere, we are doing some other works and then we are eating. It's wrong. We should be aware of what we do and how we do. It's very important. So Ishvara Pranidhana is the last topic of Niyama. So these are the 10 things which you should follow first before entering into the yoga. Who teach yoga should know or should teach these things first. Then only it will be complete Yoga Darshana. Concluding my words, and I am thanking you all for watching my video. Thank you.